Hi guys, in this video we are going to see how to add custom properties in application insights and what are the various ways there to add the custom properties. We are using the backend as ASP.NET Core and frontend as a Angular application. So we will see what is the agenda. The various ways how we can add the custom properties is using direct in logger, using scopes, using telemetry client, using custom telemetry initializer, using custom telemetry processor. Okay, how you can do it in direct logger? In direct logger, whenever you are logging the message, if you pass the parameter with curly bracket and pass the value as in the right hand side, the curly bracket whatever you are given, that is taken as a custom property and the values corresponding to that is given as a value for that. Now we will see this in action. Okay, we will take it author controller. Now here we added that author timestamp as in the curly bracket. Okay, and given the UTC time now in both logger and error. We will see it in output now. We run the application. It's currently building. We are given this in the get author. So now the application is building. After build, we will see that in output. So application is builder. Okay. Okay, application is builded. Now see this is an output. Actually we have placed that logic in the get author, right? So whenever I click on edit, the get author will get called and it will get updated in the application insights. So now if you go and see in the application insights, we have placed that code in log debug and log error. So we will do the search. It is not in records, it is in trace. See, we have the four messages, but we place that messages in the get author. If you click on the get author, you can see that author timestamp is there, right? With a custom property with the value. It can also be seen in debug message also, author timestamp. But it won't seen in the update author because we are not added that in the update author method. Okay, this is the one way. The next way is using scopes. Why we are using the scopes? Whenever you are passing the custom properties in a scopes, whatever logger present inside that scopes will get add this custom properties. I will show it in an example in as well as in demo. Now we go to the author.controller. We will add a scope using logger dot begin scope new dictionary string comma object. Okay, now we are giving the scopes. We will give the parameter, one parameter. I think author scope, and we will pass the value as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Now this author scope will be applied to both these loggers because it is inside the scope. Now to enable this scope based logger, we have to write a code in the program that says builder dot logging dot add application insights. Inside that we have to enable that path options and enable that in the include scopes. Options dot include scopes must be true. If this needs to be then only it will be work. We have to enable the include scopes options. Then we have to write this code. Then it will work. Now we will see it in this in the output. Application is building. Okay, application is built up. Now let me see, edit an author and then save an author. Now if you go inside the telemetry, we are added in the scopes. Okay, now update author doesn't have that value. Okay, but if you see on the get author scope is there. You're able to see that, right? Author scope 1 2 3 4 5, but it's not there in the update author because we are added only to this scope. So this is the one way. The next way is using direct telemetry client. Direct telemetry client is a direct way where you can create a telemetry for exception or trace, and we have to try add it in the log. Now you will see this in the output. Now you will write the code for that. Okay, I will create two telemetries. One is exception telemetry, new exception telemetry. Say that we will give a new exception with the message of sample exception. Okay, sample exception telemetry dot properties that we will give the name as author except and give the value as 134. And also we will create another telemetry, that is trace telemetry. So new trace telemetry, and we will give a message as author trace with a severity level of information. Here we will give the trace telemetry dot properties with author trace, the value 1234, and then we have to create a new telemetry client, and we have to add that to that client dot trace exception telemetry, client dot trace track telemetry. That's it. It's a direct way of adding the messages to the telemetries. Now if you run this code, we can see the output. Application is building. Okay, now we will edit the author. This is a direct message, direct telemetry, right? One is exception telemetry, one is trace telemetry. So we can see that directly in the research. Remove on, and then select only exception. Remove the exception. Search string. Yeah, you can see that in exception it's logged as sample exception. In the properties, you see the author except 1234. This is a custom property added in the exception. Another one is trace. So we select the trace and update and see author trace is there, and we have exception. So author trace is there, and we have custom properties author trace 12345. This is the one way. The another way is telemetry initializer. This is runs in the pipeline before process the messages to send it to the Azure monitor. How it runs? First telemetry initializer will run, then telemetry processor will run, then the message will be sent to the other monitor. Okay, so these are runs in the pipeline. First telemetry initializer will run, next telemetry processor will run. So we will create a telemetry initializer and then register it, it will work. Now what we will do, whenever a trace telemetry comes, we will add a property. Okay, this will runs in the pipeline. So how we will do that? Go to the project and create a custom class, custom telemetry, custom trace telemetry initializer. Okay, and derive it from high telemetry initializer, telemetry initializer, and implement the interface. What we are going to check, we have to add a custom property for trace telemetry. So how we can check whether telemetry is trace telemetry? Then we will add a property trace telemetry dot properties. This will add to the all trace properties, all trace telemetries. We will add author trace global, and we will add the value 1 to 3 or 2 3 4. That's it. This is the step, and we have to register this in the program.cs. How? Builder dot services dot add singleton I telemetry initializer custom telemetry just telemetry initializer. That's it. Now this will run for all the trace, all the telemetry initializer. It is run for all the telemetries, and we are checking only for trace telemetry. We will add that property. Now we'll see the same output. Application is building. Okay. Now we will edit it. Okay. If you go and see the application insights and update it, you select all the telemetries. Okay. This is request telemetry. We are not able to see the that custom properties. Okay, if you select on the trace, you can see author trace global here, right, with a property value. It can be seen for all the trace. Even for the update author also you can see update author trace also you can see that. Where is the update author trace? Written update author. First we will select the all, search for update author. Okay, update author is there. If we select this, here also we can see the update trace global custom property, because we are added for the telemetry against trace. Okay, this will processor for the all the telemetries. The next thing is how to add it using the telemetry processor. How to add the custom properties using telemetry processor. Here also we can do that. This will run in the pipeline. For that, we will create a custom class, custom telemetry processor, custom telemetry processor, and should be derived from iTelemetry processor, iTelemetry processor, we have to create a high telemetry processor. Next dot process item. Okay. Now here also we will do the same thing, like check for request telemetry, and whenever the request telemetry is there, we did it for trace telemetry, here we do it for request telemetry. Whenever the request telemetry is success, we will do a custom property. This will process it in the pipeline, then it will send the telemetry to the other monitor. So if item is request telemetry, then it should be a success. So status code response code is equal to 200. Then we will add a property called success, author success is equal to 123. This will run for all the request telemetry. Whenever it is success, we add a custom property. Okay. Now in the program.cs, we have to register this builder dot services dot add application insights telemetry processor custom telemetry processor. That's it. This is the two steps you have to do it. Now we see this in the output. Application is building. So it's builder. Now we go. This is enabled for request telemetry, right? So we will just refresh the screen. That's it. If you go and see the output, it will come for, if you see this called is not there. Okay, because we are not called the get author, right? That's why. Now if we search it, we have 9 trays and 5 requests. So if you click on the trace, you are not able to see that message custom property here. But if you click on the request, okay, if you click on the request, you can see author success, correct? What is the property name we given? Custom telemetry processor author success 123. Okay, if you see here, the author success 123 is there for request, but it is not there for trace. So that's it, guys. From this tutorial, we can learn how to add the custom properties to the telemetry in various ways. What are the ways we've seen? Direct in logger, using scopes, using telemetry client, using custom telemetry initializer, using custom telemetry processor. If you like this video, like it, share it and subscribe it. And if you need the source code for this, I will share a document link in the description. You can refer it. Thanks, guys.